If you want a custom build, need it done fast and on a tight budget, then you need to push it every week. So join us on our Camphill Build Diary and let's get it built. Hi guys, and welcome back to our Camphill Build Diary. So what's our update for this week? We've seen the site. Okay, great. I really needed to eyeball it. I needed to understand, the view lines. I wanted to look at those retaining walls at the back of the site. I wanted to understand the adjacent houses. I wanted to walk the neighborhood. I wanted to get a feel for the site as well. I think when you're looking at design and redesigning something and you're looking at writing a brief, one of the most important things, I think I've said this before, is the brief. And if you don't get it right, it means that every discipline and every professional that comes downstream from that brief is not on the same page. And you want your brief to be achievable and realistic. And I wanted it to make sure that when you're paying thousands of dollars for a professional advice, that I know I'm asking the right questions. So we met up with my brother. So this is turning out to be a bit of a family affair. So we met up with my brother, who is in industry, and he came down to the site as well. We walked the site. We all sort of talked about our thoughts, and we figured out a little bit more around those big questions we spoke about in the last episode. So some of the things that we picked up on the site that are not readily available from the documentation, even photographs. There's a lot of loose fill on the site, so we need to deal with that, and that information needs to go to the structural engineers. The fencing is just not up to scratch. A lot of that fencing will have to be replaced as a course of the building works. Now, that's something that she didn't even think she would have to pay for. The retaining walls are going to be needed. They're going to need to be reinforced, or new retaining walls are going to have to be built. What's happened on the adjacent properties is really weird, is that the two sites next to her site, the back end and the side end, are higher than her ground level. So they've built fences and then retaining walls that sit above the side of her ground level. And her ground kind of like batters into the site like that. So that's going to have to be tidied up. And that's in that back corner. Another way we can look at doing that is using sort of, as a landscape option, we can look at rocks to be sort of part of that retaining system. We need to talk about. So now I know I definitely need a landscape designer. And I've been thinking about that for a little while. And we need to relay that information to the structural engineer. I've had a look at where the legal point of discharge is. One thing that I don't love about the site is there is a really big overhead power line. Well, there's a pole on the corner of Wiles, the two streets. And it's like on a lean, and it just looks really unsightly. I really hope that the power company comes to take it away. Not going to happen. Well, we can all dream, right? So that, and then there's a power lines on Wiles Street, on Stephen Street. She would really like to have a friends and family entry on Stephen Street, which I think would be kind of cool. I think the key challenge is going to be the height difference between the footpath and the finished floor level or ground level of the house. And we've got some height restrictions that we need to deal with as well. So how do we fit all that in the height restrictions? So my head is buzzing. There's a lot of little challenges to deal with on the site. We don't have much time. I'm kind of getting a bit nervous now because we are already in December and Christmas is coming up, which means the industry is going to be shut down. So I want to think about how I can best use that time, because I know I can't rely on professionals being available during Christmas and New Year. A little bit to get through. So what I want to focus on is the design, the amendment design, and who can do that. We spoke to a kind of interior designer, building designer who's based in Queensland. This is probably the other big challenge that I have, is that I have a lot of contacts in Victoria and Melbourne. I have few contacts in Queensland. I'm going to really need to grow that contact list, and hopefully, because I can't be there, I can't meet people in person, but because of Zoom and all these tools we have now, hopefully I'm going to be able to do that really quickly, and I'm going to pull together a Queensland team. I am going to bank on a lot of the contacts that my brother has and my friends that live in Queensland have. This is a great place to start if you're someone who's looking for contacts and don't know where to start. We do have a professional bubble in Victoria, and watch this space, because I'm going on in Queensland.